Hello, this is Esor, Night Elf Warrior on the HammerOS US PvP server, coming in today with the last boss in this TOC raid guide series, Anub'arak. This boss is divided up into three phases. You got the ground phase, where adds will spawn. You got the ground phase, where little adds will spawn. And the third phase, where no adds will spawn, but there will be an aura that every single raid member is affected that leeches health. Okay, first thing you need to do is pick one range DPS, preferably a hunter if you have a hunter in the group. There's going to be little orbs that are flying around in the sky. You'll need to have them shoot them down. It's not really, in the normal version, there's a unlimited amount of supply of orbs, so you just shoot them down like crazy like there's no tomorrow. Probably get at least a good 5 or 6 down before the first ground phase. As you saw, there was an ad right there. An ad will spawn every couple seconds. I usually say between 30 to 40 seconds, and you'll need to have your off tank pick them up. You'll need to place this ad where the patch of ice has fallen. So when you shoot down the patch of ice in the sky, it'll fall to the ground. There'll be a little patch of ice. It's called permafrost. You'll need to have your off tank pick it up, and people DPS this. From my personal experience, you only have to kill the first one in 10 man. In 25 man, I usually say kill both waves. But the way that works is that there's 2 waves of ads will come after the second wave. Probably 20 seconds after the second wave came of ads, elite ads came, he usually goes underground. This is the second phase. There's going to be little ads that are just running around, which will place a dot on people they hit. It's preferred that melee kite them, and tanks just taunt them off the healers. Second thing you'll need to know is that there's going to be spikes. He's going to chase somebody. So right now he's chasing Cyrus. So Cyrus has to run him to one of these permafrost patches, and the spike destroys the permafrost. You'll need to do this a couple of times in order to get him out of the next phase. Now, it's time-based. It's not like you have to get him. It's like the quicker he hits a permafrost, the quicker he comes back up. It's a time-based. So now he's back on the ground. So that's the first ad. So the off-tank actually picks him up. Off-tank was on the other side of the room. Off-tank picks him up, and he has to drag him to the permafrost. So since I was a high melee DPS, they assigned me to just burn him while they had their top DPS. So I DPS'd him down, and see that submerge he started to cast? If he wasn't on top of permafrost, he would go underground. And then he would come back about 30 seconds later, and you would have 2 ads. If there's more than 1 ad, they get a buff and they hit faster and harder, which can be tough to heal sometimes. So we're just DPSing down this first one, so we're getting him down, while the other DPS is DPSing the boss. So there's about enough permafrost on the ground, so the hunter would come over here and start helping us DPS the boss. So you typically want to get him to 30% before 3 burrow phases. If maybe he's at 1 or 2% away from 30% on the third burrow phase. So he's going down right now. So during the time he's going down and he's chasing people, that's the time where you want to take out the second wave of ads. That's in my opinion. I've seen that when it comes up, DPS just blows it up. So if you do stand on top of the spike, it'll kill you pretty quick, especially if you're a clothy. So he's chasing somebody, and there's these little ads. They place a big dot. The tanks are the last person who wants to get this dot. Usually you want maybe a hybrid class to maybe get it if it's best. Like a shaman, a shadow priest, any kind of that, so they can heal themselves if the dot gets loaded on them. So right now we have a person down. I think we get a battle res on him. I don't really remember. And it's pretty much a rotation of that before the third phase. The third phase is when he gets to 30%, and I'll explain that when he gets to 30%. Another thing you might do about positioning is that you want to try to place a noob close to some permafrost, so then you can get cleave damage on it. But that's kind of tough if your person's a newer at shooting people, shooting orbs down. You also need to face him away from the group because he does a conal attack, which could one-shot anybody but the tank. He does a, I don't remember what it's called. It's like a perma breath or something like that. And he picks a target and actually ends up not wiping the group, but killing me even though we get him down. Okay, now he's at 30%. At 30%, no more ads will come. Elite ads will come. What you'll get in a war called Leeching Swarm. It sucks. It like leeches 10% of your current health, not maximum. So if say you have 100 HP, so if you're topped off on heals at 100 HP, then you're going to heal him for 10. But if you actually have him, if the healers actually keep you 10% health, you only heal him for 1. It only heals him for 1. That's just a little like a model, you would say. It's not, even though you would have more health and all that kind of stuff. From here, this is a DPS burn, and if your healers can keep your low people alive. See, I'm really low on health right now, which can be a good thing and a risky thing. Because if person all of a sudden gets a big, like if sometimes the healer misses a second to get a small hot on, the person will die. But he heals himself, and sometimes you won't beat the enrage timer. So I actually used my self heal just because I thought I was getting a little low for a second. And that's pretty much this fight. So that debuff that I have is actually ticking pretty hard. It's like 2,500 tick, which that can be a problem, especially for the healers if they don't know it's on you, because then you all of a sudden get ticked and they keep you really low and you die, which lowers DPS. So we ended up getting it here. And it was a one-shot. It was awesome. This was a full guild. And it was really nice. So I didn't get anything in particular here. I'm going to be posting some PvP videos, guys, soon. So be patient for that. Thank you, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, and happy raiding.